It's Thursday again, and we all know what that means. It's put your pants on day. So break out your finest pair of listening devices and join Ziona and Slaygon for a bit of chat live here on Slay Radio.
Boop boop be doop.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
With a slight delay.
Couldn't be helped apparently, because YouTube just didn't want... Oh, what? Radio? The relays are not apparently listening? Or
Oh, tell
online?
me that the relays are broken too.
No,
Obviously.
it is. It is listening.
Okay, cool. At least something. Anyway...
It was just everything was delayed some 8 minutes because I was trying to get the YouTube stream online.
Yeah, so anything that can go wrong obviously goes wrong at the most appropriate moment. And it's 2020, by the way, and it's the 10th of December. And we will have Press Play on Tape, part of Press Play on Tape from 9 as our guest. Namely Jesper and Theo, and we will talk about a lot of things with them, hopefully, mostly music related, but you also can have any sort of questions there, so please make sure that if you send the questions to us, then either they could come through the request list, I think, right, Slaygon? They can. I think so.
That would be the preferred way. And to get there, you go to slay.radio/request.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Or also you can send private messages to one of us on Discord or IRC. That works as well, because then we definitely won't miss it. So on Discord, Twitch, and IRC, there is like usually a huge discussion going on, mostly on Discord, so most of the people are there if you want to join us there. Why did I forget to start the bed music? Never mind.
That was bed.
Anyway.
And we are closing in on 300 people. One person left before we hit 300 on Discord.
Oh wow, that's nice to hear. So nice to hear that so many people are with us and sharing the passion of the 80s and retro music and mostly Commodore related music. So happy to see that indeed. So the most traffic is going on usually on Discord. So if you want to have like the most traffic in terms of chat, then you can definitely join there. There is also traffic on IRC, and sometimes we have an IRC bridge that forwards the chat messages vice versa between Discord and IRC.
Yeah, but I haven't had time to actually start it yet.
Yes, I know. So not functional at the moment, but maybe it will be functional later on. And what else to know? Yes, you can also watch on YouTube and on Facebook, and obviously all these channels, well, probably we have a few priority channels, like we know that most of the people are on Discord, but to watch you can decide about anything really. Sometimes Facebook has some encoding issues and the video quality is better on Twitch and YouTube maybe, but this is just a tip. So, and sometimes in the past there were more discussions on Facebook. Nowadays everyone is just going on Discord, so for some reason that became our preferred platform. Can you believe it? Because 1 year ago I think Slaygon would be very surprised to hear that, because for a long while he was against the Discord.
No, 1 year ago we already started.
No,
Discord,
we didn't.
Discord, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
Sorry, I was in my own world. I wasn't actually listening to you. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm having a conversation with myself and with the listeners, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, I was starting the IRC bridge, so I kind of missed half of what you were saying, and I thought, is she talking about at video streams or whatever, because those we've had for more than a year now.
Okay. Anyway, to warm up the evening here, usually I like to bring a special track that might not be requested or might be fresh or just might be counting as a unique piece. And I would say that I would start this evening with this track because everyone knows very well this track, but not in the album version. And the album version might be very well, almost 100% played later on with the video clip as well, but the album version is slightly different. So we will talk about this later on.
To say how much I really love you, baby. Show me the sign and I will stay with you all through the night. When we're apart, I spend each moment thinking of you, baby. You're in my heart. I always keep you close and hold you tight, yeah. You remember first time we met? Make you mine. Who can blame a young boy for wanting to hold you? Because you look so fine, yeah. Let me tell you once more, you're the one I adore. You're my C64. Now it's the time to say how much I really love you, baby. Show me the sign and I will stay with you all through the night. When we're apart, I spend each moment thinking of you, baby. You're in my heart. I always keep you close and hold you tight, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, press play on tape.
Let me tell you once more, you're the one I adore. You're my C64. Now it's the time to say how much I really love you, baby. Show me the sign and I will stay with you all through the night. When we're apart, I spend each moment thinking of you, baby. You're in my heart. I always keep you close and hold you tight. I turn you on whenever I can, 'cause you know how to keep me satisfied. You are the one who make me a man, so let me play with you tonight. Now it's the time to say how much I really love you, baby. Show me the sign and I will stay with you all through the night. When we're apart, I spend each moment thinking of you, baby. You're in my heart. I always keep you close and hold you tight, yeah.
So no, I cannot teach it.
So no, you cannot. Okay then.
Because it's a kind of you debug on the fly, and there's no kind of list like that on the wall there. Point 1, do this. Point 2, do this. Because it's different every time. If it was the same every time, I wouldn't have any problems.
I know. I just think that in the latest 1.5 years, you took on more and more responsibilities here in what we are doing, And obviously, if you are dealing with the video stream and the animations and all the NDI stuff that we are dealing with and everything, then obviously you cannot resolve everything by yourself.
Obviously I can, as you can see.
Yeah, well, you can, but on what
No,
cost?
But the problem is I need to get the stuff to some sort of level where I know what to expect. Currently it's so random that there's no way to kind of write down what to expect from every time you go down here and start things up. It's different every single time. So there is no point or bullet lists you can write currently. So I'm kind of honing in on that, getting there.
Yeah, okay. And maybe later on you can actually release some of those responsibilities out of your hands.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's the point. Once I get to the point where I know this is how it works, then I can.
Yeah,
and
okay.
a lot of this needs to be automated anyway.
Yeah, okay.
And hello,
great to
Leah.
hear.
Hello, Sky, Vlinder, Mordy, Gohanks,
Dax,
ATK, Dax,
Renegade the Sea,
oh yes, and Shargo.
and
and
LPG.
Gadesi became member number 300, by the way. And Martin
nice.
Land and Master of Cowbells
And Bottega.
and Bottega.
And Ace. Yeah, Ace. Yeah, we said Ace.
Mitch Van Hayden.
Yay. So
and
yeah.
Ziona. Oh wait, you're there. And I
Good
Zero.
that I'm here, right? I guess. This screen would be so empty without me. Tell me that. I know, right?
Oh, that actually, yeah, I need to get that, like a test screen, temporary technical problem screen. I need to have one of those so I can switch the camera views to that. Because sometimes they hang, so they just stop. Like for instance, you see there, I'm waving, you're waving, but the bottom left, we are not waving.
You don't have to show this, really. No one would know. Seriously, it's just, it's all on your end. It's okay that something is not working, that is not even on the screen right now. And hi Lala, and hi Peter. So nice to see you around indeed. So chill, and you made an amazing animation as well that is running in the background. I'm covering it, you're covering it, but on your end it's more visible. So yeah. So indeed, yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying when I say that you kind of pile up all the to-dos on your table and then you are wondering why you are not ready on time.
I'm not wondering. I know why.
Okay, I'm glad that you know at least.
And also, I'm not piling up. I'm just doing like this one. I found a new fun thing to do in Blender. I thought, I could use that.
Okay.
So I made that one. It's
well,
not like me piling up stuff.
Very
to do.
nice job. It just takes time, but it is very nice job. And I think we need to play a request right now.
Yes, we do.
Which is Shargo's request, the first request of the evening. And this would be Art Pandora's Divine Trousers.
When I was a kid in school, I saw this game I thought was cool. No one bought it, what a shame. Art Pandora was the name. Even though it might be bad, there was this one thing that it had. Music by the Queen of Sid. Art Pandora, what a hit. Oh, how nice a tune. I played it in the afternoon. Round and round and round. 'Cause it has such a pretty sound. Stomping to the beat.
when we are here, by the way.
Hi. Oops,
So-
sorry.
In a different
Now
view.
we wave on all cameras.
Oh, you are amazing. Thank you so much for waving.
I'm so good at waving.
Yeah, you are amazing at waving. You're better than prime ministers at waving. My God.
Amazing wave.
All right. Anyway, we also have an amazing reaction time on tractor, but you said
Yeah.
it will warm up.
It will eventually.
Happy to hear that, maybe at one point. So, yeah. How was your week?
Before we get to that,
Okay.
if you want to ask questions on Discord, there's a channel called Show Questions, and for now I'm just gonna pin all the questions that I think are actual questions.
That you think are actual questions. Probably the people asking them think they are actual questions, all of them, but
Well,
how do you
some of them
define
might
those?
not actually be real questions. If you look at the history in the channel, there's sometimes discussions and such. So those I'm not gonna pin.
Okay, good to know. Thanks for the heads up. In the name of everyone. But if you pin them, I have no idea how they work. Oh, never mind.
You have a pin at the top right of Discord, at the top right of the channel.
Yeah, right.
The pin icon, the middle icon.
Yeah.
That's where all the. If you click it,
I see. Okay.
you will see all the pinned.
Oh, and we don't
question.
have pinned messages yet.
No,
How cool.
not yet.
So now we will. Everything has to be started at
So-
some point. Cool to see. Always getting confused between all those windows on Discord, but slowly I will get used to that. Yay. Okay, so what else is on our agenda for now? Are you busy with setting up something else?
Nope. No,
Okay.
just finished.
Finished.
Yes.
Did anyone notice anything on his screen? I wonder.
On my screen?
Yes, on your screen, not on mine. Because the change has happened on your screen, not on mine.
Right.
So I wonder, probably after playing the next track, you can still think of this question if you have noticed anything. And meanwhile, the track is playing, you can send us the messages, what you think has changed. Anyway, Mordi has a request, which is Gear Shelter's Artillery, the credits part.
Lala
Very
says,
pleasant track.
sounds like JT's player. Yeah, you had to scroll back because there was so much text there. I thought he just said it, but
Yeah,
turns out
Discord
there's a
got-
screen full of texting.
Discord got bonkers for a moment, and I couldn't read the messages because it was indicating that there's something happening on the server, and I got panicked. But it's okay.
Yes, and Martin from Press Play on Tape joined us on Discord as well.
Nice.
I think Jesper joined like Sunday or whenever we did the test broadcast or test
Very, very nice.
connection thingy.
Yeah, they will be able to see everything, or at least the chit-chat that is going on. So that is very, very cool.
Oh,
So
yeah.
before we get to that, how was your week?
Right, my week.
Your week?
Well, it's a bit weird. I get a lot of requests to work because now they know that they only have until Christmas and that's it. So people just pile up a lot of stuff on my desk, I guess.
For you.
To sort out before I leave. So yeah, so it's been busy, and besides that, I actually ordered some interesting new stuff for the studio. And these, for instance,
That are
they
not working properly.
Yeah, the Elgato Light Air. Built-in diffusers and stuff, but yeah, they need to pair with the Wi-Fi and they just fail.
Yeah, sometimes I just think that those devices, they are really better off without a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah,
Because if their
once-
functioning is depending on that, that's not
once
that
you
good.
get them connected, you can actually control them directly from a terminal, so you can just do some curl kind of calls to it and change the warmth and strength of the lights.
Yeah, once you get there.
Yes, once I get there, just like with that lamp on the left side of you over there, you can actually control it through the console. And since I already got the Stream Deck, I can hook up the buttons directly to all the lights in here. So that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it would be awesome if it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
It
idea
will
is
work.
good.
It will work.
Yeah, it will fucking work. I know.
Exactly.
That's the way how it is. As long as it's you, you will resolve it that way or another. Doesn't matter that you don't sleep, but
Yeah.
let me check the request list here. A man with no name wants to hear a Peter Clark track from 2020. So I picked probably the most popular one, which would be Space Harrier, which ended up being on the second place of the remix competition this year.
Haze barrier.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
the fantasy zone.
Josh.
Oh, almost muted ourselves because you pressed the button. Never mind. So yeah, Peter Clark and Space Harrier. And Pete just said on the channel that it was 42 stems in Reaper total. How many?
Reaper.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of tracks.
Oh, it's
I
a
would
few.
say. Yeah. It's a decent amount of tracks.
It is.
If I look at my own arrangements, definitely it's always like between 30, 40. But for some people, it's just overcrowded, right? As we know it. I just love when the music is filled with everything.
It's easy to stack up. I usually do some weird stuff where, like, instead of working on this one instrument to make that sound good, with basses, for instance, I layer them. So I have like 3 or 4 basses that kind of add modulation and that sort of thing.
Yeah, doing that too. Yeah. A great way of enhancing some things. And then again, right at the start, it was a great way of rather pushing away things, because when there is a frequency conflict, it's not a good idea. Anyway, let's carry on, I would say.
You would say.
I would say, because the time flies and we have about 20 minutes until we can welcome Press Play on Tape. We already have some questions in advance, so I'm not afraid that we will be without questions for this evening, because we have a decent amount. And if you send us questions, reminding you, please do that on either private channels or on the Slay Radio requester, because then we might have a chance to notice that.
Or in the show questions channel on Discord.
Yeah, thank you. That's probably the most practical one. I just wish not to forget to check it out. That's very important. Anyway.
I'll keep an eye on it. I've pinned a bunch. I think LP Chip is the only one who's actually... Oh, Max Levine has also posted a question in there. So there's a bunch already.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, indeed. So, what do we have here? We have Gohanks. Hi,
Hello,
Gohanks.
Gohanks.
Yep, and very nice request. Mordi and Leah and Light Force.
Light Force.
The most chill version of Light Force ever.
Yeah, still sorting some shit out from earlier.
Yeah. The hard drive speed doesn't help. But nothing is perfect as we know it.
Indeed.
So, anyway, where were we?
Let's see. I think good and good. Excellent.
What is
So,
good and
Now
excellent?
the video conference thingy.
Oh, that helps
Yeah.
when it's working,
There we
indeed.
go. So at least because it disconnected earlier because 40 minutes idle.
Oh, right. They think of that too. Oh my god, we are too smart here already. Sometimes it is cumbersome. Just like with the new lamp.
Indeed.
I really wouldn't require my lamp to have a Wi-Fi connection. I get the
it's,
idea,
it's
but
different for studio environment.
yeah.
I would love if the cameras would be controllable through some network connection or whatever. That would be awesome. Maybe not Wi-Fi, connected with a cable like that lamp on the left. That's actually cable connected. Power over Ethernet and all that shit.
Yeah, and it does very well, I
Yeah.
think. So,
And I can just SSH to it and change settings. That's nice.
yeah,
Oops.
later, maybe later. Don't fall back, please.
No, it's,
We don't miss
just-
the experience right now.
I fell.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, to think back of the first attempt of the instant remedy interview, that was also like an exceptional evening, I would say, the first attempt, because everything that could go wrong went wrong. And before that, of course, nothing happened
Yeah.
for weeks, like for months. We had no problems whatsoever. So whenever we are on our own, it's all fine. And then, of course, then I think the video streams didn't start up. Then we decided first that we will do an audio interview, and then we said that it's like, no, after half hour, it's just not worth it. Let's do this on another Thursday. No, let's hope that this time everything will work fine. So,
Yeah, hopefully it will.
yeah.
Well, we do have a video thingy running now, so seems to be working.
Seems to be, you say.
Seems to be.
Okay, then. And we have requests as well.
Woohoo!
The next one is Master of Cowbells. Master of Cowbells. How does it sound? Cowbells request. So, Cowbell wants to hear Ferrara and International Karate 99 remastered version. boss fade.
Sorry, we're kind of running out of time, and we wanted to do one more track before we invite our guests on air. So yeah, we have chosen the most appropriate request for welcoming our guests of the evening, which would be Lala's request, incidentally, and this would be Man with the Gun, and it's worth to watch the video stream as well. Yeah, let me just get it going.
I'm average. I'm just that average guy who need each average day. I'm average. I live my average life in my average way. But when I'm all alone, my wife is snoring, or my job is really boring, there's one place I am the king. I'm playing games, I'm the man with a gun. I'm an army of one, I'm the man with a gun. In PvP, I am second to none. Dig all those matches I won, I'm the man with a gun. My gaming has helped me break the everyday monotony. 'Cause gaming well, let me act out anything I'd like to be. I've been a princess saving, cherry craving, coin collecting, ball deflecting, stellar trading, team upgrading, potion drinking, bad guy shrinking, rocket jumping, monster pumping, tribe evolving, puzzle solving, dot eating, son of a bunchifying, cake defying, guitar swinging, pop song singing, crystal pairing, solitary, master of the world. I'm playing games, I'm the man with a gun. I'm an army of one, I'm the man with a gun. You shouldn't worry about what's being done. I know my real love's the one, where I'm the man with a gun. I've also infiltrated, terminated, space invaded, populated, guild raided. I've been a gun. I'm playing games, I'm the man with a gun. I'm an army of one, I'm the man with a gun. Killing sprees never been so much fun. I will never be done, I'm the man with a gun. I'm playing games, I'm the man with a gun. I'm an army of one, I'm the man with a gun. You cannot hide, you got nowhere to run. I'm a pro, there's no con. I'm the man with the gun. I'm a bitch of a son. I'm the man with the gun. Rambo's first name is John. Don't set blasters to stun. I'm the man with the gun.
Yes. Geez, mics as well. Hello. Okay, introductions again.
So,
right.
How can it be that I'm mirrored?
Yeah, I know.
that very well could be, actually, I think.
Stormtrooper is in reverse. What's going on?
That's completely unacceptable. It was in our writer that stormtroopers can never be reversed.
Yeah, but stormtroopers are always backwards.
Yeah, it's always confusing to see yourself like reversed. I know that.
Yeah, that's why I never know which way to point.
Well, but yeah, well, how are you guys? How do you feel this evening?
Thanks for letting us drop by.
Well, thank you for joining us. And
We're great. We've been looking forward to finally get this interview by what's the radio station again? I don't know the name, but
We don't know which city
matter.
we are in. We don't know which city we're in. We don't know what country we're in. We don't know what radio station we get interviewed on. Yes.
Yeah, welcome to Seattle. Oh, wait, what? So, how's your busy, what's it called, celebrity life?
How's your busy celebrity life, Theo?
During these days, especially with a lot of gigs around.
Yeah. It's times could be better, I would say. That the last concert we played was this one with the B-sides, so that's a while back. But that's how the times are currently.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing that we can't get out and play, and we right now we're actually not even meeting in the rehearsal room because the country is kind of on a lockdown, etc. So it was fun that we got to do the streaming concert, but it's kind of a annoying time where you can't meet up, right?
Yeah, exactly. You partially resolved this issue with the streaming concert in September. It's like, can you talk a little bit about it? Too bad that I have missed that because I was on a live demo scene event that time. So otherwise, I would definitely be there. Slaygon was there. So
It was supposed to be a live event. There was this conference called B-Sides, which is this IT security hacking conference that was in Copenhagen. And we were supposed to be the evening's entertainment. And then the whole country locked down and it became an online event. But then the organizers were pretty cool and say, hey, we can actually, why don't we just stream you guys? And then we were spending time trying to find a venue, and we were figuring out how to even make this happen and get everything in place. So it ended up being so late that everything fell into place that we didn't have a lot of time to make a lot of noise around it. Which we posted about it very, very late. But on the plus side, we are kind of editing all the footage we got from the concert. And as you may know, we already released the live version of Tetris, and we are kind of editing all the other songs. So we will be releasing an edited version of the concert on our page.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we have some previews from that tonight, I believe.
We do. Some work in the progress, but we thought it could be pretty cool to show you guys a sneak preview what is in the mix these days.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be definitely awesome. I think we wouldn't start with the best part, though, that we haven't heard yet. So first probably it would be great to show Tetris, because that's the latest video release that got published, I guess. So if Slaygon can prepare that... I know, that's a short notice. Never mind.
Scoot over to the other side of the room here.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tractor refuses to load up a track, so I don't know. We are doing well too, by the way.
You have a pretty awesome studio right there, I must say. It looks pretty impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's... Slaygon did most of the job in terms of putting everything up and running, so definitely huge respect for that.
Yeah, you can see like our homes, like Theo. This is where Theo takes all his business calls with the Stormtrooper in the background, right? And
echo and movie posters. Yeah, that's how we roll.
Definitely.
That's how we do it.
Why not? Some people I know, like Lagerfeld, his studio is like entirely white. There's nothing, not even a single cable can you see in there. It's just white.
Sounds like very 2001 Space Odyssey.
Very much, yeah.
I only have black guitar amplifiers, though. I don't know how that would even work.
Oh my.
Custom paint job?
Yeah, maybe.
There's some beautifully painted guitars out there, and some 64-related artworks too.
Yeah, I saw the one where there was a 64-themed guitar. That was very cool.
Yeah, I think Romeo Knight actually made a custom paint job on a guitar with Commodore 64 colors.
I think it looks utterly fantastic, but I'm just wondering who is going to buy that guitar, because it's so narrow somehow.
Yeah, but Romeo Knight, he's never gonna sell it.
Oh, it's not for sale. I thought it was.
There was someone who wanted to buy it, right? But he said no.
Yeah. It's his custom kind of special brand guitar. He's never gonna let that go.
No. Me and Martin, the other guitar player, definitely talked about what we could do as well. Right? So either you put some folio on it, like you do on cars, these bus commercials. You get that stuff made with print on it.
Yeah.
Or you actually need to paint it, but then you have to put like what's it called, lac. Finish on it, and then that has to stay on for months before it kind of hardens up. So it's kind of a thing you need to plan to do.
Yeah, well, it's not like you're doing live gigs right now, so now is the perfect time.
That is correct. Maybe it's time for you to paint your synthesizer thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to ask, like, why is this that the guitars are always painted, but they never think of the synthesizers and keyboards? So, Theo, what do you think about that?
Actually, I have a guitar. The one I made. In the beginning of PPOT's first concerts back in 2000, I think, I actually thought about painting that sort of brownish beige as the C64 has. But finding that color was almost possible. So it was mixing your own paints and putting it on a very expensive synthesizer. I didn't do it.
Yeah, of course.
You do know that when the internet comes and somebody actually gives you the color recipe, then you can't use that excuse anymore.
And there are so many people out there who want to find the C64 brown color, exactly that.
Yeah.
Okay, there are a few. Definitely there are. So, yeah, I could find...
just use a color picker. What's the problem?
Oh, yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What space may I ask? Anyhow.
Oh, wow. Our second bed music loaded up in 6 minutes.
Oh,
that is something to celebrate. That is a record. It's like absolute record. It never happened like this before. I don't know what's going on with this tractor right now. So I think...
Machine, not tractor.
What?
That machine, not tractor.
Yeah, we figured out it's not the hard drive either. So great. Anyway, carry on. You prepared a video here, Slaygon.
I did.
Yeah.
My battery is apparently running low.
Well,
you guys.
So prepared.
That's awesome. It's just like being in a band and fighting all the time. That's how it works out.
Happy that you feel like home. So, how are we doing?
At least it didn't die, but yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready. So this is your latest released video. You released it a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it was the first track that we kind of edited all the footage. So we got all those cameras from the rehearsal room, and that was nice. But unfortunately, the video streams had a lot of hiccups. So that almost all of the tracks have like frames that are freezing and so on. So it has a huge pain in the neck to sit and edit like four streams of video, and then you have a really great cut of Theo playing a solo, but then he freezes for 5 frames, and then you have to edit and cut and find somewhere else. So that's kind of why it has taken a bit long. But Tetris, yes, was the first track we wanted to get out, and we have never kind of released this version online before. We've only played it live a couple of times. So
yeah. So let's watch it.
Let's.
going on air?
Yes,
Hi.
we are.
We're going on air.
Sorry for the slightly abrupt kind of return.
That's okay. We were just
Talk
chatting.
about stuff, guys. So don't do it again.
You never know. Kind of with YouTube, I can't check how long it's been running, so I never know what follows or when it's ending. And what follows the actual end of the track.
Yeah. The tricky part is that, of course, it's played live, so obviously there is no play button should be on the screen, but then he doesn't see it where exactly the track is, and I cannot check it either because it's not on my screen. So another fun. But there's still things to improve, so that's great for Slaygon, I guess.
Yep. Lala
Anyway.
says, PPOT rocks!
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's your goal.
Rocks!
Yeah,
Yeah, okay then.
we are all right. It's okay. That was just a few seconds there, I guess.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Not important.
Yeah, the online concert. In terms of the online concert, I think there might be like 1-2 more months, or next year certainly feels better, but still probably a few months until then. So, do you plan any sort of upcoming similar gigs, maybe?
I mean, so right now we are not even meeting for rehearsal, right?
Yeah, so too early to talk about that.
No. It's, I mean, the thing with this band is that we don't usually kind of plan these things. They just kind of fall down from above, or some crazy thing is happening, and then we get a crazy gig like this B-sides. So what, you never know what happens, and we'll definitely be up for whatever. If anybody wants to do a streaming concert or book us for something, then do it. But right now we don't have any plans now.
Yeah, okay.
Also, this B-side thing from we got called, and until the concert actually happened, it was not a long time actually, and I would say we had tons of technical difficulties. I don't know if you know about technical difficulties.
Never heard of them.
No.
But I think we were ready half an hour before we actually went live. So we used to do everything in the last minute. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a little bit too close for comfort. I would agree with that, right?
Yeah, it's like this show today was ready 5 minutes after we started. So
Well, at least it's only 5 minutes. That's not too bad. But if we talk about spontaneous things, actually, this might have affected your band right from the start, because your story of founding the band is very interesting. So if we could talk a little bit about that, I think it would be interesting for others as well. So all the circumstances and how you formed this band with the guys.
If I can make one comment before we actually say anything.
Certainly. Yeah.
We are a band of 6 members, and we have 8 opinions at all times. Just so that you know. It might be that Jesper has some kind of weird version of what's going on, or
the truth.
What is not true. That's what I want.
I actually disagree with that, Theo, I must say.
Of course you do. Okay, so
but we can talk a bit about it. I can go first. So I mean, I started. I'm sure Theo has the same story. But when I was a kid, I would be such a geek that I would record the Commodore 64 tunes on a cassette tape and run around and listen to it on my Walkman.
Never did that.
No, you never did that. I just thought that these tunes were really, really cool. And all my friends in school, they thought it was really weird, of course. And then I had a friend who played the drums. And I remember one day I was at home in his house, and he actually had a drum kit and kind of a music room. And then we put on Shockwave Rider by Rob Abbott and just cranked up the volume on that. And then he would play along on the real drum kit. And it just struck me how awesome this thing sounds with like a real instrument. Right? Really, really cool. And then many years later, I was at this thing in Denmark called high school. It's like a place you go for 6 months or something with some topic like art or music or theater or whatever.
Oh.
So I went there just to play music. It was like a music school. And they had a studio, and you could use that in the spare time, in the off hours. So then I thought, great, I can do all this. So I recorded a couple of tunes, like Aztec Challenge and Thrust. Actually together with Søren, because I know Søren from way back, so I invited him up there. So this was back in 1994 or something. We tried to, put real bass, real guitar, real drums on some of these tracks. It's just, hey, this kind of works, right? And then, Theo, you can take it over from where we met at university and listen to the back in time things and what.
Yeah, but I need to say that Jesper, of course, is totally wrong, because how I see it is that when I did my tapes back in high school, I also tried to play some of these C64 tunes on my Amiga, redo them.
And you mean the tapes that you did not record?
Exactly.
Yeah. Just checking.
Anyhow, I tried to redo the C64 music on the Amiga, but I failed completely because the Amiga was so different from the C64. I was used to using the Rock Monitor 3, which was awful. And then I went on using the noise tracker and, of course, the sound tracker and so on. But I just failed completely. So I just kept on listening to these non-existing tapes. And then we at the university, we formed a band, which was called, I think we named it Forbidden, didn't we?
We did. In this particular case, you're actually right.
Yeah, so it's like damned. And in this band, we played a few C64 tunes, but it wasn't something that cashed on, and the band sort of blew apart. But we a few of us kept on talking about this amazing thing. And then some night we assembled at my dorm room a few people that weren't members of the band, the Forbidden band, and then these regular guys. And we had a acoustic guitar and maybe an electrical one, I don't remember, a couple of very tiny synthesizers and a bucket for drums, and then we played a few tunes. And then we just thought this was just hilarious, and we laughed a lot about it. And I think we kind of forgot about it, but we talked about forming this band as a joke. And we wanted to go to the Roskilde Festival, and we wanted to go to the assembly and play, and we wanted to play live on TV, and we just laughed about this. And then Jesper, you got a not a call, but you got a request on IRC.
Yeah, so I had a friend from high school that I called up, and then, as Theo says, we were just like joking about this thing, and I was just, hey, we were just sitting together playing on a bucket and a couple of acoustic guitars doing this.
We are a complete band.
Yes, we are a full band, and I just kind of told him what was going on in my life, and we have had this evening and so on, and then we put on the hook, and then like 5 minutes later, he called me back and said, Jesper, the guy that's sitting in front of me in my office is actually the organizer of a demo party up in Northern Jutland, and they would like you to come and play. And I'm like, we don't have a band yet, and it's like 3 months out ahead. Yeah, you're hired.
And this is how Press Play on Tape was born.
It is, and I remember I haven't deleted email since 1997 or something. So I think I have the original email that was kind of going around at the time saying, hey, let's meet at Theo's dorm room and play this. And oh shit, we got that gig. Now we need to do something about it. But then we had 3 months to kind of put on a set, and then we played at the party up in Northern Jutland. What was it?
That was 99?
99 between yeah.
To say the least, we were petrified. We were solid rock standing on stage, and we were so nervous. So if anyone would play something slightly off, the the entire thing would just blow up. And it did a few times. It wasn't. I think we have it on tape somewhere, but it's never going to be played.
Just so you know, I have a copy of that tape right here.
No, but of course that was a lot of fun, right? And people thought it was super hilarious and very geeky, right? Which it kind of is. So that we kind of really got blood on our teeth, or whatever you say in English, actually. And wanted to do it some more. So I guess we just like kept on ever since.
We definitely somehow struck gold. I don't know why, but if you see the non-existing tape from that concert, you can see the audience going completely berserk. Of course, they were very drunk and from Germany and Finland.
Sweden.
Maybe Sweden, yeah. But we could just see that we had found something quite unique. And at the same time, I don't think we received, but I borrowed a CD from one of the students at the university from this guy called Chris Abbott. He made something called Back in Time, and we listened to this CD, and we were sort of, this is a good idea. We need to do something about it. So that's how the first idea of doing Loading Ready Run saw daylight.
Exactly. So what Chris did was really amazing, and that first CD was like, wow, you can do this. You can actually take these tunes, but hey, it's done with synthesizers. Right? This thing needs real drums and real bass, and of course some awesome synths as well. But like doing it more like a rock style. That was kind of always our approach to it.
Yeah, and at the same time, we saw these remixes emerging on the net. Back in the days when you saw the Dead Guys and groups like that, I don't think RKO was formed at that time.
No, that was in 2000. RKO and Slay Radio and Press Play on Tape essentially got created at the same time.
Yeah, but listening to these amazing remixes and still amazing remixes, we just thought, okay, we need to do something about this, but we need to do it as a live band, play it as rock, instead of doing, I wouldn't say as everybody else, because there weren't that many people doing it at the time, but not with that much oomph.
Yeah, so the live aspect was very important.
Absolutely.
And unlike for most of the projects, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then your first Ake release was around 2001, right? If I'm not mistaken here.
You probably have a piece of paper with that's written on, so you would remember it better than we would. But what one should remember is that the amount of time that was between the Commodore 64 kind of ended being used and when we formed the band is shorter than the amount of time from when we formed the band and until now. Right?
Yeah, by like 15 years.
It's like 3 times that amount of time. So let's not go into that. I think our first release was that must be Outrun, yeah.
No, I mean not the first Ake release, or well, however you put it, because they were they were uploaded on the same day. So yeah, Commando, Outrun, and Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, and those are from June 2000, right?
No, this is 2001 and March 26th. Oh, okay. So you just started and uploaded 5 remixes at the same time.
Wasn't that some of the recordings from a live session on the Danish radio?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Live on Danish radio, all of them.
You're right. Yeah.
Well, I need to look that up. I'll do that immediately.
And I think we need to play one of those tracks. What do you think?
I'm going into a tunnel. What are you saying?
Well, if we mentioned the start, maybe we could kick off. Okay, your choice. Warhawk or Trust or Ghosts and Goblins or Outrun or Commando?
I thought this was going to be pleasant for your listeners. Come on.
Well, they still like them, though. from the ratings as well. So it's not too bad.
Which one is rated the highest then?
It would be Trust, SIC. So would this be okay with you guys?
I'm not too sure, but okay.
Yeah, it's not too long. Yeah, so after that we have to return and talk. I know, but it's such a horrible thing to do. So, yeah, but 2 minutes and 45 seconds of goodies. So one of the first released Archeo release. Oh, never mind.
Damn.
They didn't request you to finish the song Slaygon, but thank you.
You can come join us on stage next time.
Yeah, I'll just do the endings. Fiddly doom and down.
How long did you say this was? Was it like 2 minutes and something?
Yeah, 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
But we actually rearranged that since I think the version that's on home computer is actually substantially longer than that.
Yeah, we can definitely play later tracks too. It was just important from history perspective.
Have to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So once we did a show that was highlighting the very first and the very last remixes of the remixers, like after each other. There were nice comparisons done, so, you know. So it's always nice to hear where one starts, I think. And speaking of which, we talked about that some of you were involved with Rock Monitor and making SIDs. And we would love to hear, actually, the musical background. I know that not 6 of you are here with the 8 opinions. Probably better that way if you have 8 opinions.
I can have 8 opinions. That's not a problem.
But how did it go with the learning instruments? And when did you start to be involved with music? Like, did you ever think seriously about music as an activity in your life, in your childhood, or profession?
You want to start too?
I can start. Well, I was interested in playing the piano from whenever I could reach the piano that my grandparents had. And it at some point it was up for grabs. So I, as a 6-year-old boy, asked if I could have it since they moved and they didn't have room for it. So I got this piano when I was beginning in school. So I tried to play the piano and I had some lessons, and I did actually practice the piano quite a lot. But then I lost interest in that just before high school, I think. So I forgot everything about music except for, I don't know, a few spring concerts in high school. So it was on a very low level until I met the guys at university.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there came the computer science department of Copenhagen University, right? Where you guys have met.
I would say that if you think of the Amiga, the sound, the noise tracker and the sound tracker, that as an instrument, I did spend some time playing on that, but that was editing and not really playing.
Yeah. Okay.
So for me, it was like I was listening to this Commodore 64 music a lot, and also after that on the Amiga. And I had a good friend, Ziona, if you're out there. We would totally geek out about these things, and talk about Hubbard, Bangladesh, Galway, and how they use the sound chip and all that. But it wasn't until I was like 15, I think, I kind of signed up for like a guitar course. I was thinking a bit about keyboards. It looks cool to be like Kraftwerk, just standing there totally still. But it's probably more fun to have the guitar and like run around on stage in the front. So I signed up for the guitar and just picked that up and really just wanted to play with people as a way to hang around and not be one of the football guys, because for sure I am not that. So I wanted to hang out with the cool musicians, which I did. And then when I got to high school, it was just such a good way to meet friends across the different years. Right? You would always find people who would meet up in the breaks and play some music. And there was a lot of guitar players, so I also got to play drums and bass, played in a lot of bands, just for the fun of it. But I actually never did stuff. I never did compose anything on the C64 or the Amiga. I was never really good at that. I just like played my instrument. But Søren, the drummer of PPOT, he was actually in a demo group, and he actually did sits back on the C64. So he was Donovan, and I think his C64 demo group was called the SAT team with a C. And later on the Amiga, they had a demo group called the Plasma Force that actually did a couple of demos where he would, play with the sit using sound monitor or whatever, rock monitor, whatever he could get his out. And then later on the Amiga, of course, the tracker things. So I don't know. The song called Piece of Noise on home computer is actually one of his original Commodore 64 sits that we did a version of.
Nice.
Shall we? If we talk, maybe we can play some music as well. And once again, can you tell me the title just quickly? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, you. Sorry, guys.
What was the title of that SID again?
Piece of Noise.
Piece of Noise?
Piece of Noise. Yeah. And I'm almost there. Just a little bit of...
She's looking.
Yeah, I'm
It's
looking.
somewhere.
It is somewhere.
Hopefully.
We should have it. Definitely.
Meanwhile, I can actually ask you a question. There's some questions from the listeners, and I am going to ask a question from LP Chip. If you ever considered expanding the band, and what instrument would you then add?
Are you talking about our weight?
Almost.
You mean actually adding more members to the band? From a few times we've had some guests, people coming and playing with us. But I don't think as such. No, we are 6 geeks that met at university, and we are a tight group. And I don't think that would change.
How many opinions would that give us if we had one extra guy that's like 10 opinions about everything? Right?
Opinions are great.
Yes, but Leo was right. Like we got a saxophone player to join us once. And that is always super fun and can really bring something to the table. I mean, maybe we should get a symphony orchestra to join us once if they're up for that. But no, we haven't really considered.
Yeah. But we played with Rob, a guy called Rob, and we also played with a guy called Ben. And no, they didn't join the band.
John Hare.
They're lost. Yeah, John Hare was a button pusher once. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we also played in Warsaw with him in 2018.
Oh, cool.
Julia Dunn, who did the Nantaranus theme. We played with her. It was that's really fun. Right?
Yeah.
So all these hang around, wannabe prospects, they wanted to join, but no, we turned them down. So I think that we are 6 guys, and we've known each other for more than 20 years. It's like 25 years, I think. Some of us, and it's going to be difficult. It would be like, I don't know, if we went down with a plane at some point, and 3 of us would survive. We might consider it.
So we played it. Well, when was we played it in Odense a few years back, where the lead singer of Artillery, was a Danish guy called Michael Bastholm, was really awesome. He joined us on stage and played Man with the Gun. That was really, really fun, right? So you get these kind of experiences.
Yeah, so guests, you welcome a lot of them, like saxophone and vocalists and button pushers and stuff like that.
You just got an offer from Martin Land as well, who is talking with your Martin, by the way, who is on Discord, and with the theremin, a very special instrument. Yeah. So
we should have a theremin. Yes.
I actually once had a theremin. It's horrible. It's so difficult to play.
It's so difficult to play, and you get it on a stage, and there's interference and people moving around, and it affects the tone. It's completely insane to use that in the But it's a great instrument. We had a lot of fun playing with it, Theo, as I recall.
Yeah, I guess that's why they have emulated theremins, like what's it called, the Nord Stage one, I think, has a fairly good theremin sound in there.
Okay, but the whole show of standing there and waving your hands, right?
Jean-Michel Jarre in the woo.
Anyway, now I got uncertain what the next song would be that we could play. I lined up the next song, which was the own composition Sid, right? And I think we also need to play the stage gig with John Hare and all the game controllers, because that was amazing as well.
So also talk a bit about that if you want at some point.
yeah, definitely we should. So then first let's start with the Home Computer. The album is Home Computer, and the track is Piece of Noise.
Kids, sit down before me. Let me tell you guys a story about the time when I met mommy and put you guys in her tummy. I was young, I had been drinking, high on drugs and low on thinking. Thought that life could get no better. That's the time when I first met her. She was really nice, yeah, she was very nice. Looked into her eyes and came to realize that she was just the girl I'd been waiting for. I wanted her right on the floor. She was really nice, yeah, she was very nice. Opened up my eyes and came to realize that even though my touch had been soft and small, she'd thrown me through the wall. about my kids, she carried. Minutes later we got married. It went fast and truth be told, it was quite weird. My kids were 3 years old. Yeah, she was very nice. Looked into her eyes and came to realize that she was just the girl I'd been waiting for. I wanted her right on the floor. She was really nice, yeah, she was very nice. Opened up my eyes and came to realize that even though my touch had been soft and small, she'd thrown me through the wall. This is how the story ended. I came home when my knees were mended. Found my wife who told me, honey, I am taking all your money. If you think I'm acting cheap, then you can have the kids and keep them. Now I find I have been had. You're not my kids, and kids, I'm not your dad.
Yes.
Or even less.
Even less than 10 seconds, and we are there again. Look at that.
Nice.
That was a nice track. We enjoyed it a lot.
So one thing... Oh, are you still there? Yeah, so one thing I was just thinking about in regard to forming the band, I think it also... I mean, when we were sitting there in that room and playing, it was like, oh, we need a bass player. But Uffe was actually playing the keyboard. So it's like, Uffe, now you need to go play bass. Okay. and then I think we got Martin on guitar, me on guitar. And we got Theo on keyboard. You played the keyboard. We got Andrea on keyboard. He was playing the keyboard. Then Uffe got to play the bass. And we kind of looked at Søren and said, Søren, I know you are really good at singing, but we actually need a drummer. So you need to learn to play the drums.
I was about to ask about Søren. The way
Søren can play a lot of instruments, but he had to practice a little bit to get it. But I think he's doing really well these days. So
the way I heard that story is that you had some sort of lottery of who's going to be the drummer.
See, that's a good start. Now we have two versions of the truth.
Alternative facts, as they're called.
So you needed an event to form a band in 2 months. And then you took your first assignment, so to speak. And then you just chose your band members like this.
Yeah,
wow.
And go play the drums.
Yeah, so that's the way how you roll. This is so cool. Can you mention for us like a few music idols that inspired you? Like both on the scene and commercially as well. Anyone?
Okay. I guess I'm kind of a function of my age, right? So I kind of grew up listening to, first all the computer stuff. So then it was like Kraftwerk and Jean-Michel Jarre and those kind of things. And then I got into guitar rock. So it absolutely has to be like Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Deep Purple, those kind of things. I mean, these days I listen to almost all music, but back then it definitely what got me to pick up the guitar. And I still think that the way I play rhythm guitar is really inspired by Iron Maiden and Megadeth, and the way to use power chords a lot and that kind of thing.
Wow.
Kerrang!
Yes. For the C64, there's kind of no doubt that like Rob Hubbard, Ben Dalglish, Galway, Fred Gray, I mean those are the big ones, and I think each of them in their own right is really inspiring. As you can also see from the selection of the songs that we play. But it's actually a super difficult question. I actually wrote down some notes here.
Being prepared.
B, C, D, E.
Of course, I as well thought that Kraftwerk and Jean-Michel were fantastic, and guys like Harold Faltermeyer, who formed a lot of the music in movies back then, was of course inspiring. But I would also say that the demo scene was a big inspiration for me, especially on the Amiga. Guys like Jesper Kyd, for instance, who's a big phenomenon these days, was a big inspiration back then. But there were so many people that made so much great music, which I still listen to from time to time. And also we have all these remixes on the Amiga scene as well, also very inspiring. I would say that formed me, of course. Then there was all this say pop music, which I also liked at the time. I didn't listen to all that guitar crap that this was talking about.
Yeah, but as a keyboardist, it's understandable that you are towards different directions as well.
And speaking of keyboards, Max Levine is asking, was the crazy mid part of Kettle actually played on keyboard, or was it all programmed?
So which version of the truth should we do once? Right? That middle part of Kettle is actually completely insane, and I remember it was Uffe that chose that track.
We need to talk about how we actually designed Run Stop Restore, because we did Loading Ready Run, and that was sort of what are the biggest tunes that we can think of, and then we just played those, and of course a few of those didn't make it to the album, and then we thought about making a new album. But then we just knew that each of us has a favorite tune, so we made these what did we call them, solo
ego tunes, right?
Ego tunes, we made them. We called them. So Kettle was Uffe's ego tune. And the way it happened was that we went home and basically did some recordings, and then talked to each other. Can I get some guitar from you? Can I get some drums? Can I get this and that? And then we put some things together, and then we played them for the entire band. And some of it got some good feedback, and some of us had to redo some things, but after a few iterations, it actually turned out to be a great idea. And Uffe's idea was to actually bring Kettle, which is an insane tune, he wanted to bring it to life. So it was actually his job to record that. And to be honest, I think he just typed it in.
He did, right? I think there are like parts that starts out slow and then get faster and faster, and I think we played some of them, but that thing near the end, that was definitely programmed. But it's actually a funny thing, Theo, when you say that the first album we did, where we just picked the most popular tunes. So this is actually something we've talked about a lot. What does that mean? Like, what is? It's not that there was a hit list or anything. Like, most popular could absolutely just be within your group of friends. I mean, who knows if Munch and the Run is a well-known tune in Poland or whatever, right? What does popular mean? So you had these buckets or these pockets of friends that would show tunes to each other, and within that circle, stuff would be popular, but who knows if it was actually something that's recognized worldwide.
Yeah, And I guess mentioning the kettle, we might also play that before Canon Fodder. Just to make it spontaneous.
I have a small anecdote about it because we were actually talking to Ben after the album came out, and he was really flabbergasted about the kettle tune, and he actually asked us, "Did you play this?" So I think for a few days he thought that we did, but no, we didn't.
Okay then, so I guess now that we talked about it so much, we definitely need to play it, and it's going to be short, so we will be back like in 2.5 minutes or so. Eek. Okay then.
Well played, Theo. That keyboard part was just fantastic, I must say.
Yeah, well played. Didn't even need to warm up.
This is a guitar song. You just take it and...
Oh, is that how it goes?
Yeah, you just do that, magically. Everything will go all right, I guess.
It's a good warm-up tune, at least.
It's like Monty on the Run for fast loaders.
Yeah, unless you break your fingers doing that, stumbling all over.
Coming back to the question you asked before, like tunes that inspired us. I mean, I was also thinking about the sits and remixes. And I mean, in particular, there was one remix coming out many years ago. I think maybe it is on anyway, it's a version of Zach Maniac Mansion and Zach McCracken by a guy called Pleasant 303. And for some reason, that remix just always connected with me. I think it's so awesome the way he did it, and of course, it's also because there are guitars in there.
Yeah, it's been out for quite a while, and it's still good.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that song, but I just haven't found a way to do it better than that, so I never kind of did anything. also think some of the stuff that Chris Abbott and all the rest of the guys did on Back in Time 3, there's actually some really good things in there with some quite unknown C64 remixes like Armalite and Shadowfire and so on that I actually really like because they're different. And I think that was really awesome, those tunes. And then, of course, we do have to mention the Visa Rösta, like the Swedish vocal thing. Like their version of Human Race, it just gets me every time.
And also Armageddon Man.
Yes. Exactly.
I just got goosebumps on my goosebumps when I heard that the first time. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a Hall of Fame, it's going to be in there.
Yes.
Definitely.
I mean, we've played with them a few times, invited them to Copenhagen, etc. They are so fun to hang around with, and it's so awesome to hear them sing. So I don't know, maybe I don't know whether they are still alive and singing, but it could be awesome.
At least they are alive, and part of them are singing too.
I've been meaning to actually go to Copenhagen to visit Hannah for quite a while.
Yeah, I know she's in Copenhagen.
Yeah, and also Lagerfeld, but now he moved from Copenhagen, so.
Yeah.
Well,
you
not now, a bunch of years ago.
But recently, of course, I mean, the stuff that Fastloaders is doing is, of course, insanely awesome as well. I mean, I really admire the stuff they just did with all the Commodore Amiga stuff that we never got around to do. Although some of us, there's a lot of tunes that we would like to do there. So really, congratulations on that latest album. I really, really like that.
Hope they will hear this or listen to this at least. And speaking of physical releases, we have a question to you as well. Will you re-release a physical version of your debut album?
Was that Mikael Bastholm that asked that?
Sorry?
Was that Mikael Bastholm who asked that?
Yeah, exactly. It was him.
Michael, I think we actually promised to give you one after you played together with us at once. Maybe you never got that. No, we kind of made the decision to not do that, which is also why you will find that a lot of those tracks was re-recorded on home computer. We just think they are. We just think that
this is actually a point where the band has one opinion only. It's not going to be released again. No.
No chance whatsoever. Yeah.
So we actually know that we've been pirated, and you can get a copy in some parts of Asia. So
yeah, we got a fan message from somebody in Asia who bought it at a.
Look at that!
That is really awesome.
If we ever go,
if you're being pirated, you are something. I don't know what, but you're something.
Definitely, you are definitely pirated at least.
Wow. Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, it would be fun if you just randomly go to, let's say, Hong Kong or whatever, and you start browsing through the racks of CDs and find yourself there, a thing that you never even released.
Yeah, nowadays you never know. Anyway. Yeah. And another question from Renegade C is, will you ever do a remake of the cool Comic Bakery video in 4K?
Bit warmer in the summer, he also adds to that.
You mean reenact it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like re-record the whole video in 4K.
20 years later or whatever it is, 15.
Before and the after version? Oh no.
That's a bit too much grey hair, maybe.
You know, there's some women out there that like the silver foxes.
Yes.
You can also color your hair nowadays, temporarily.
I yes. I mean, obviously that thing was like, what was it recorded on? PAL DV tape or something, right? So it's absolutely not in anything high resolution. So we would have to do it again.
We have it in standard.
Oh, sorry. Seriously.
Theo, what were you saying?
We recorded it in standard definition, so it's horrible quality. It's not good.
Yeah, it has this dreamy kind of feel to it.
We just kind of went all in and tried to find as many, cliches as possible for those kind of videos, right? Yeah. But I remember that there's a cut where we kind of walk up and down and kind of open our jackets and turn around at the harbor. And while we were standing there doing that, then behind the camera, this police car drives up, and these police guys get out and they kind of look at us.
It's actually a van.
It's a van. Yes, they kind of look at us for a little bit and then they just laugh and then go in.
Should have asked them to join, have a shot of them as well.
Yeah.
But again, it's just some of those super funny things you kind of get around to do just because we had this crazy idea to play some Commodore 64.
It was so well put together, like all the details of the video, and I can tell you this because I was a teenager in the 90s. That means that I was all in the middle of these cliches with Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and whatever boy bands were out there. All my classmates were crazy about them, and of course the video clips, all of them we knew by heart. So. Yeah. Such a great job with that video, and I think... Sorry?
No, that's correct.
Sorry, it's just at this point, maybe that's the next one that we need to line up.
A bit more an anecdote, because so what happened was that I think Søren was sitting down and again playing exactly with Backstreet Boys and putting stuff together, and then he was thinking, maybe I could actually find an excuse to do that with the band that I'm now in, and then we kind of mixed it together with a Commodore 64
but if I can add something, I went to a party at some point at the film school in Copenhagen, and they had a competition with some groups that were going to go on stage and sing, and they were to do some parodies of these boy band songs. And one of the groups had actually prepared quite a lot, so they brought a music video that they did, and that was a parody of these boy band songs. And I just stood there and thought about it. This is simply what we have to do as well. So I talked to the guys and pitched the idea, and we've been talking about Comic Bakery for quite a while. What are we going to do with that song? Because it's actually a super fantastic tune, but it's very difficult to play because of the chords and playing it tightly. It's quite difficult. So I think that inspired Søren to actually say, "Oh, we need to do some boy band stuff." And then he went home and did a lot of his magic, and then he pitched the idea, and then we just went, "We need to do this as a video," and that's when we went to London, I think. Shortly after that, so it actually premiered in the cave in where was that? Yes, but I don't remember.
It was the club for Back in Time 3 or something. That red cave, I can't remember what it's called. This is a dungeon thing where the concert was at.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Gossips?
Gossips.
Yeah. And the air conditioner went bonkers. It just died.
It just dripped water down the synthesizer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly right, Theo. So that music video, right? We all try to come up with ideas like, where can we shoot this? I mean, I think somebody was working in an office building that was right next to the harbor, so we could kind of shoot it there. And there was like an outdoor terrace. We could have that with water running down, right? But then, of course, we needed to get like Theo in a shower. Should I tell that story, Theo, or do you want to tell it?
It was just perfect because in the original pitch that I saw at this film school, they had all these cliches with water, and they had these quite expensive studio setups that we couldn't redo. But I thought, let's do something in a shower. So we agreed to meet at the Department of Computer Science. And on that weekend, they actually cut the hot water. So the idea of me sitting in a shower went from a good idea to a very bad idea. And you can actually see it that I'm quite anxious while I'm trying to sing, because Uffe, our bass player, he was just sitting and spraying extremely cold water on me while I'm trying to sing, and I'm just hyperventilating and everything is just sitting. So we took the good parts of that, but it was so cold.
It was so cold. So just as I talked before, that we had those clips from the streaming concert where there was a lot of freeze frames in it. In this particular instance, it was like, okay, here's a sequence of 10 seconds where Theo is not like clenching his teeth. We can use that. Awesome.
What you won't do for the art.
Exactly.
and also the part where Uffe is diving into the water. It was actually some very shallow water in a part of Copenhagen where the water was still. So it was smelling, it was fuming with the maybe eggs would be the correct smell for it. So that Uffe actually took the dive was super fantastic. It was very brave of him, and he actually lived to tell the tale. That was so loose.
Yes. Another anecdote about that song is that we got to play a warm-up gig for a Danish band called Mew, who I think they had seen one of our concerts online. Like, oh, that's a funny thing. And they were quite big in Denmark, so they kind of, their manager called us and say, hey, you can do this warm-up gig for them. They're playing in these two big venues in Copenhagen and Aarhus, which is like the two biggest cities in Denmark. We were like, of course, let's do it. One of them was in a venue called Copenhagen, which is like where the Beatles played, and everybody has played there. Really awesome. So we had like 5 songs we could play. It was a very short set, like 20-25 minutes. Of course, we knew that their audience would be quite young, right? So we of course put the comic bakery thing in there, and it was just so fun to see like 3,000 people standing there, and we start down, 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 down. Everybody goes like this, yeah. And then the moment we start playing the actual tune, they're like, what?
Speaking of which, did you have any copyright issues with that starting part? Because obviously it sounds like the same. So was it ever a problem?
Like copyright issues with that comic bakery?
That's a good question. I would say that we released it and we never heard anything. So
okay.
I would say from day one we have been really focused on doing everything the right way.
That's very nice, yeah.
But from time to time you do have slip-ups. We bought all our software, we cleared everything, I hope with Chris, and we've done so much in order to actually make sure that people receive what they should receive. For instance, in the beginning, Rob, he didn't get the money that we paid to the
copyright authorities.
Copyright authorities in Denmark. They should tunnel it through to him, but he never received a dime. So from that point on, we've just been paying people, sort of spending twice the amount, paying whatever the copyright agencies in Denmark need to receive, and then sending the money to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's very nice.
Yeah, and I guess you never.
That's what we've been striving to do from day one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you never monetized the song either, because it's probably with a reason that it's not on the album. So
exactly right. So these days with YouTube, where they just put commercials on it, if it's a known song, then it's kind of okay, unless I guess you become a big hit. But for the songs that we write ourselves, like the piece of noise thing that Søren wrote, we kind of considered whether we should register it, or he considered whether he should register it. But it actually puts a lot of limitations on what you then can use it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like Man with the Gun and that kind of thing is actually not registered in the code in the copyright authorities, because then we have a lot of freedom for what we want to use it for. If somebody, I mean, sometimes people write and say, "Hey, I'm making this movie. Can I use one of your songs?" And then we can say, "Yes, you can use this song."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense too. And you are not blocked because of your own content. That counts a lot.
That's so weird.
Okay, I guess it's time to play the video that everyone knows, but it should be part of this show as well, I guess.
Definitely should. So let's get on with it. Hold on. I need to just do that. What?
Yes.
Hold on. Yeah.
Holding on.
Okay.
Now.
Ready.
Yeah.
Night.
So here we have Votega, who said she fainted a bit, and best C64 music video ever, said Lala, and awesome video and all of that. So I guess, probably several people would love to see it in 4K, but that probably is not happening.
Maybe, who knows? But thanks, guys. I mean, it was really fun to do, and it's just really amazing that other people find fun in what we're doing as well.
Yeah, Goheng said, I already hear those Seehofan 13-year-old girls from 96 screaming.
Yeah! What?
Yeah, and Jesper, you in the bed with the 64, that's that's the peak point of the thing. So yeah, amazing, like really great ideas going on there. And you guys do like the video cutting. Who is the brain behind the videos? Like all of you, or who is really figuring these things out, like the ideas and cutting it together and everything?
Is it like whoever comes up with the idea?
Yeah, who comes up with the idea? It's a good question. One thing that we actually haven't been talking about is that we also spawned from a demo group. We spawned from the demo group known as Hybris Nemesis. Have you ever saw a wild demo back in 1999, 2000, 2001?
No, I kind of quit the scene in 91.
Okay,
so
so then you missed out on something. But we had this wild demo group, and we went to the party in Aarhus, Northern Jutland, 4 times, I think. So PRESSPLAYONTAPE also spawned from that. And we also played at the party, I think, in 2001. And the way that Hybris Nemesis worked was that somebody would come up with an idea, and somebody else, or maybe a group, would rethink that idea and make it more crazy, or do something with it, or maybe turn it into something completely different. So it was a melting pot of a lot of things. And being members of Hybris Nemesis made us sort of, we tried a lot of things, and we took that into PRESSPLAYONTAPE. And I would say that even though that mainly I do all the computer graphics that we release. I'm sort of the guy who's putting all the things together and trying to make things work. We are, everybody's contributing one way or another in order to make things happen. And usually it's a wild process, because we get an idea and then we change it, then we change it, and we changed it at least 8 times. And until the last minute, we can come up with even more crazy ideas, and we do that. For instance, the cover of Home Computer, I had an idea for that, and it just didn't work. And even though I reiterated over it, I don't know, for weeks and weeks and weeks, an even better idea came up, I don't know, 2 or 3 days before we had to hand in the final version of everything to the printer. So I think I came up with the idea actually doing the C64, the Home Computer, as pixel art, and then everybody who wanted to chipped in and just started drawing all these different people in Photoshop. So I threw in, I don't know, 10 different of those, and then I think Søren and André, they just took those and copied them out and did different versions of it, and everybody else was getting tremendous ideas about what they could do. Put in the Last Ninja, put in I don't know, different game icons from the C64. So that went from nothing to a final cover in 3 days.
Wow.
And then the TV series Silicon Valley came around and stole that idea and made it their intro.
Yes.
Actually, there's a group, I think they're called the Big Boys, and they do these tremendous, huge posters with tons of details in it. And I was really inspired by that, by those people. If you haven't seen them on the net, you should look them up. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they're really awesome. But in regard to the video question, I mean, sometimes it's very democratic. Like we will sit after rehearsal or during rehearsal or whatever and say, hey, we need to come up with a concept for this video. And then we just have a bunch of ideas and then we riff on that, figure out what to do. And for something like the comic bakery song, of course, that needed to kind of be planned because we had to go out on some locations and kind of cut it all together. Then maybe somebody assumed the role of director on that. So I think we have a lot of different skills in the band. Like some can do 3D graphics, some can do music, some can draw stuff with a pen, and some can draw pixel art, etc. So we kind of all come together and kind of do what needs to be done. So I, for example, I'm not very good at creating new graphics or anything, but I think video editing is fun. So I would sit and, for example, editing the live footage that we have here because I have it in front of me, and then Theo might sit down and do some 3D graphics for some video that we would do. So that's kind of how it comes together.
Nice. Yeah. So it's a real teamwork then. Yeah. We can say that. And you're very lucky then because you can have a lot of different skill sets at your hand or your fingertips actually.
So in the beginning it was also that we all wanted to agree on everything, right? But that didn't last very long.
It's hard when you have 15 opinions between 6 people.
Yeah, exactly. So I have this saying that if somebody wants to do something, then he should do something. And, unless it's a really insane idea where you absolutely have to veto it, then whoever does
everyone needs to do it.
And speaking about those controllers, let's not forget about that because that was a fun gig as well. So how did the idea came that you take it to the next nerdy level and then you make an even more nerdy appearance around, it was in 2005-ish, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah. And you were there on the stage with John Hare and you only played with controllers.
Correct. So we can talk about that in a moment, but we were arranged this. We had been to Chris Abbott's back in time, which was awesome, and we thought, hey, we can do something like that in Copenhagen. So exactly back in 2005, we kind of did that. So while we were kind of preparing for it, we were talking about, okay, so now we've been playing for a couple of years, and it's actually pretty geeky to play this old Commodore 64 music as a real band. But there was also some other bands coming around that were doing it, like the ones we invited over, Sid 80s, etc. So we kind of looked each other in the eye and said, what can we do to kind of raise the bar a bit? Like, what is even more geeky than that? And we came up with the idea that the Commodore Amiga was all sample-based. You could actually, what if you took those samples and edited them out, put them into a sampler, and then figured out a way to trigger that on a controller. So we wrote some software that could then, just take standard PC inputs and trigger MIDI signals on that, and then you can basically do it because most controllers you can get some sort of a USB adapter, so you can connect it to a PC. So essentially, you take a PlayStation controller like this, and then you connect it to a PC where there's some homebrew software running on it. It's actually the only software I've written that's still running in production. So. That picks up the controls, and then it sends a MIDI into a sampler, and then you can basically trigger the samples, so you can play turn up the volume here. Why is it not working? That's awesome. Okay.
Still in production?
Yeah, that was my comment as well.
That was the best live demo ever. Okay, awesome.
Technology, awesome.
Anyway,
I can tell you it worked 1 hour ago, 1.5 hours ago.
Exactly. But so I remember then we kind of rigged it up, and it was totally homebrew software, and everything was just USB cables and adapters and coming. And then John Hare came to Copenhagen because he was going to play there, and we kind of took him into a room and said, "Hey, John, can you come an hour earlier? There's something we want to show you." And he just came into our rehearsal room, and it was just like these dance mats and controllers and so on. He gave him the joystick and said, "Try to press this one." And he was like, awesome.
Question, did you try switching it off and on again? just to see if it works after that?
No, yes. Well, maybe my Windows computer went into sleep mode. It's on my other computer. I don't want to switch over to that.
Anyway, shall we do the...
Cannon fodder? Yes, we shall. Did you prepare it?
I did. I did. Let me just switch over here, and we should be better synchronized now.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this.
We are Press Play on Tape. We are the geekiest band in the whole wide world. Or so we thought. But tonight, as you all can see, we have a pretty tough competition on that account. So, we've decided to raise the bar just a little bit to become once again the ultimate geek band in the world. So, what we're going to do is we are no longer going to be the band that plays old game tunes. No. We are going to be the band that plays old game tunes on game controllers. So what we have here, let's take a look. We have on the right, we have Jesper. He plays a guitar controller from PlayStation 2. Yeah. We have Uffe. He has the best controller in the world. He has the PlayStation 2 normal analog controller, and it sounds like this when he plays the bass. Yeah, popcorn. Then we have, to my left, we have Andre. He has the worst controller in the world. That's the Xbox controller. He does the singing, sounds like this. Or more. Okay, then we have Martin. He has, from Nintendo GameCube, he has Donkey Kongers. And yeah, that's a really weird conga sound, but we didn't need congas in this tune, so he's playing like piano stuff. Okay. Furthermore, we have Theo. He has a cool controller from the PlayStation 1. This is the Scratch controller. Show it, Theo. Batman, yeah! Unfortunately, the game that followed this controller was pretty lame, but the controller is very cool. So that's me, left. I have no chord for my thing here, but I play the drums. And I'm going to play the drums on this dance mat from Dance Dance Revolution. And that is going to sound something like this. Okay, so now we have almost everything we need. We have the concept, we have the controllers, we need a celebrity or a con man, we need the guy responsible for Sensible Soccer, we need the guy responsible for Cannon Fodder, we need, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Hare! And John is going to play on the best digital controller in the world. A real nice one, you've all had it when you were kids. This is the arcade. And when John plays the arcade, it sounds something like this.
my PlayStation controller to my other computer that I'm having the video call on.
Hang on.
So that was...
hang on. I think it's still the applause that is going on. Yeah, there we go. Now that everyone applauded you, now I guess we can talk. Oh, the clapping is still going on. Never mind. Big success. It's still a big success, I have to tell, because the geek ears bend easily, says GoHanks.
Yeah, and GoHanks actually has a programmer-related question. He says, okay, as a geek coder, I must ask, what language was the controller software written in?
We're only asking that because we have made fun of that. So it's actually written in Java, which of course is the completely wrong language for doing a thing like that. I was a Java developer at the time, and this was just like a prototype that I had to get ready for that show. And then afterwards, like, now I've written it anyway. Might as well just. But of course, I think we ended up actually getting like a just-in-time compiler to actually make an executable. So it runs okay. But these days, Andre actually was on paternity leave for a while, and he ended up making an Arduino solution where you have a PlayStation 2 connector into an Arduino with some embedded software that he did. So now it's more like a hardware device that's much more stable than that Java software that I'm running.
Yeah,
so
probably.
For PlayStation controllers, we can use that, and then for like the Sega Dreamcast fishing rod controller, which of course we need to have, it still runs through my piece of software.
Yeah, probably a quicker startup and lower latencies on the Arduino as well.
Exactly. But so the reason it wasn't working, as I was just saying, was that the USB for this thing is connected to the screen, but now I switched to my other computer, so then it got disconnected. So sorry, that's the thing. Well, it's not my software.
Technology.
And the question about gigs.
The hardware, yes,
Sorry? Once again, I think we haven't heard you because it's half duplex. So, started to talk, yeah?
Yeah, you have more questions?
Oh yeah, no, it's just, Martin is asking, will they play in Bergen next time? Because you do know that there is a Back in Time live in Bergen for this would be the third year, but it didn't happen.
Yes.
But next year...
and we have actually been talking to Jarle from Fastlås several times about coming there. I think one time it just didn't work out with the timing, or maybe we got to talk too late, and then it was all this Corona thing going on. But it's absolutely something we would like to do. It could also be awesome to get Fastlås to come to Copenhagen and do something together. So
definitely,
it was super fun to play at the Back in Time thing in Brighton. That was the last place we played with them.
Brighton.
Yeah, that would be lovely. So, looking forward to next year. Maybe we will be able to make it. And Bergen is beautiful.
I know.
Okay, no need.
I think we played in Norway 4 or 5 times already, so...
Yeah, it's their turn.
Okay.
It's Fastlås' turn to get to Denmark. Is that what you're saying?
We would love to come to Norway.
We're just used to playing in abroad, so we'll be happy to go.
Yes.
Good. Definitely.
It's actually fun because I think we played, 70 concerts so far, maybe 80, and 1/3 of those has been in other countries. So we are quite gifted, I would say. We've tried so many things. We've experienced so much crazy stuff. You wouldn't believe it. It's really amazing. If you were a really skilled musician, I wouldn't say that I am myself. Maybe I've become better through the years, but I'm not an awesome musician. But if you're studying at university and you're spending 10 days at the piano each day for 10 years, then at some point you're a good musician. But these people, they don't experience what we are experiencing. They don't get to be flown to England or Germany or Norway, Poland. We played many places. It's quite. I think we're quite lucky.
Exactly. So it's really just as Theo was saying in the beginning, we're just these 6 guys that met up at university and are really just hanging around as friends. And it's awesome to have to meet once per week away from the family and get to play a little bit. And then once in a while, something crazy happens, like, hey, come to Warsaw to play at this awesome event that we have. And then John Hare is there and we play together with him and play Cannon Fodder on controllers and so on. Of course.
That's what you do.
Yes, you do.
And with regard to the story you just told there, Theo, it's very true, unless your name is Rhino and he's being flown everywhere. He's currently actually back home in Holland doing his kind of Sunday service type things, doing piano classics from his church. Have you ever thought of setting up somewhere apart? You do have the studio where you did the live streaming. Is that where you do all the rehearsals and stuff like that as well, usually?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
A rehearsal room just in the outskirts of Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And it's a fine place, but it's nowhere near the palace that Rainey has.
Obviously. It's Ryan.
Yeah.
But we do. Did you ask whether we are doing the recordings out there as well?
No, I was more curious about streaming directly from there, like doing more live concerts and that sort of thing.
It could be. I mean, it actually took quite a bit of technical effort to set that concert up with like 5 cameras and a sound guy. There was a lot of wires going in and out that day. But yeah, it might very well be. I mean, if other people are up for hiring us for doing a streaming concert, then I think we would definitely be up for it. It was a really fun experience.
Great to hear. And
if I may add, it as Jesper says, there were a lot of cables going in and out of our room, and a lot of people actually helping us. It might seem that it's a little nothing that we did, but we really spent a lot of time to make it look like it did. Just removing all the junk that we have and put in all this nice 80s C64 stuff, game boxes and hardware, so it looked like this is how it looks every day. It doesn't. It's a junkyard, but it looks really nice, and we spent quite some time preparing that.
Yeah, I know this studio.
We feel you.
This studio didn't look like this always.
Yeah. So
you don't see this sound guy on the outside sitting and turning all the knobs while we're playing. You don't see the video guy sitting offside trying to cut some good video.
Yeah, I wish we had one. Can we hire one that can just sit outside and do that shit? Or this
what
stuff.
Money can't buy.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of traveling, we have Spawatch, who says, "Hey guys, I think it's high time for me to ask our guests my usual question, but since it's a band and not a solo performer, I think we should give it a little twist." His usual question is, what's your car that you are driving and what's your dream car? But here is the twist. What was the band's first mean of transport to the venue when they played their first gig ever? And what would be their dream vehicle to roam around during their Europe tour? I mean, we all know it's gonna happen sooner or later, right? Cheers.
As I recall it, I mean, it's a bit cheating because the first concert we did, as I told in the story earlier, was we got hired to play that demo party, the party up in Aarhus. But we actually did like a little sneak pre-concert at the Copenhagen University's Christmas party, just to kind of try to practice something. So there we didn't drive. But then we were students, we didn't have any money. So I think we like rented a trailer and put on a car, and then you can't drive more than like 70 kilometers per hour. And that's a long way from Copenhagen.
We actually
trailer.
We went in 2 vehicles. We borrowed one of the vehicles from university, which we actually we were allowed to do so. I cannot remember the details, but we were in a red van from the university, and then another van.
And that was my parents. It was a Peugeot 5 something. I'm not into cars, so it was an old Peugeot with a thing for a trailer.
So we had this convoy going from Copenhagen to the northern part of Jutland, and it was freezing.
And snowing.
And, it was a horrible trip, but we did it anyhow, and it was fantastic because we were so enthusiastic about the whole thing.
So you played Kettle as the first song to warm up.
Exactly. So I don't know, what would be a dream vehicle to go touring in? Would that be like an awesome tour bus full of old retro computers or whatever?
Well, it could be. I don't know. What would be the perfect vehicle for driving on our European tour?
It'll be
joystick instead of a steering wheel.
Yes, of course, but it will also be 8 different vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm not a lot into cars. I just think, going on a tour, it could be super fun to have like a tour bus where you can sit and chat and talk and have fun together.
Yeah, some arcades.
When we have this, let's go and do a gig somewhere, we usually load up 1 or 2 cars, and then we drive, for instance, to Odense in the middle of Denmark. And then the people that have been driving, they've been driving for hours. So eventually when you go on stage, you're actually pretty tired. So that's, I would say, anything that could steer away from that, so you can go on stage being, not completely tired. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so a driver.
Yes.
Anything with it. Yes.
Or one of them new trucks like Volvo or whatever, who does these automatic driving AI-driven trucks. Just load up everything in there and say, "Oi, Google, take me somewhere," and then it goes.
We need 8 Teslas. Yes.
Yeah. Indeed, it seems like so easy, even easier. And easier, for people that cannot navigate, definitely perfect choice for later.
I have a question from LP Chip, who says, "What song gave the most challenges when you composed or rehearsed it?" Full story, please.
Maybe the 80s medley.
Yeah, the 80s medley was quite a challenge. Have you heard it?
Which medley?
We've made a medley of 80s TV series themes.
Oh yeah.
Right,
we actually, definitely, it's on their channel as well. I don't know if we are allowed to play it though, because that is probably a bit problematic copyright wise. But
rehearsing for that some of the parts we spent an entire evening just getting 10 or 12 seconds right.
Like the theme from Transformers, finding a way to play that where it kind of sounds cool and the timing is super odd, or the key signature is weird. It's just, I think as Theo says, it probably took like a rehearsal for each of this individual tunes in that song. So that took forever.
Yeah, and you played it live on Assembly 2011, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would say there's where we go from Dempsey and Makepeace and on to the next. There's a piece. I think we spent so much time getting the timing right and all the chords right, and it's amazing that it works though, and we are not rehearsing it as such, but it was getting there is half the fun, you say, but not there.
I think it came from, we were playing at the Rock, which was this venue in Copenhagen that unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. And then there was the promoter, he had hired some warm-up band that he said, "These guys are awesome. They will play 80s TV shows." And I was like, "Oh, awesome! That sounds right." And then they hadn't rehearsed, and they just got dead drunk in the rehearsal back room because they was like, "Oh, we are rock stars." Then they got on stage, and they really put it off. And we were like, "Next time we play here, we'll kind of do something slightly better than that." spent 6 months trying to perfect that tune. But
how many times did you play live that medley?
We almost always do it because it's a real crowd pleaser, right? Everybody loves to see Diver or whatever. So it's actually, I think we have almost played it live at every concert since.
Yeah, like more people can connect with than the retro stuff themselves. Yeah, makes sense. Wow. Okay. And also important question: is there any musical genre that you specifically dislike and you would never create anything in it?
No.
No. So no techno, no dance.
No, techno is fine. Dance is fine. We have done stuff like that. I mean, I personally really hate like Schlager music, but that shouldn't prevent me from like doing a parody of it if that was what we kind of.
I would say that we would love to do anything if we have a good idea. Then we will just be doing it. Yeah. Nothing has stopped us so far. So if we have a crazy idea, we'll implement it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be rock. Right? It can be anything.
It could be trash metal.
but if you look at all the songs that all the themes we've played, you cannot say that we are just doing one genre. We are doing many things. We've done stuff with classical music pieces in it. We've done techno-ish stuff. We've done banjo songs. We've done hard metal, and we're all over the place, and we're not stopping at anything. But I would say if you are dreaming about us doing a 10-hour Wagner opera, I don't think we'll go there, but yeah, we like to make fun of stuff, and the Defender of the Crown thing was touching that base, I would say.
Yeah, it was so fun because Jim Coemo, who did that, we asked him for permission for the copyright before doing the tune, and he was like, "Yeah, sure. If you pay the copyright, it's fine." And then when we did it, we sent it to him. He was like, "You guys did it vocally. That's pretty cool." Like, he didn't expect that at all. So, but I think like when you play music, there's no music. Maybe I don't listen to it, but I think you can kind of respect most music. Of course, except for German Schlager music.
Does it have to be German?
What's the equivalent in Danish, by the way?
What's what?
The equivalent of German Schlager or Swedish dance band or disco polo.
That's top. It's the same, right?
Yeah, they are practically. It's just the language is different. So I guess there is a Danish equivalent to that as well.
Oh, yes. But I'm not saying I wouldn't make a song like that if I had a good idea.
And what's the name of it? Is it also Schlager or?
No, that's top.
Once again?
So the Danish top is like top of the pops.
Okay. I guess I have to see it written. That's easier. Yeah, but that's good to know actually. And anything
I feel like making a song like that now, just because of that.
You never know what might born out of this.
The video for it would be fantastic. Yeah.
SDK wrote it on Discord.
Thank you. Yeah, that helps. And it's not that complicated. It was just sometimes the pronunciation is so different. So yeah.
Martin Land said, so PPOT are actually Danish? I always thought they were German.
Nah, it kind of says on the webpage we are a bunch of geeks out of the University of Copenhagen, which is kind of in Denmark.
But the first Back in Time event we went to, people actually, we have this story on the video also from Das Modell, Das Gamer, as we call it. People were actually whispering, are those guys Kraftwerk? Because we're all dressed in black and we had these black shirts on. I don't know if whatever they're thinking, but we actually heard the whisper there. So I would say that's as far as German we are.
One of you guys have a picture of Press Play on Tape and me in one of your cameras from the first bit live.
The one in Birmingham?
Yeah, the DNA Club.
Yes, yes. Yeah, but we have that for sure. That we all look younger and less grey-haired.
Yeah.
But that was an amazing event. We just formed the band. I mean, we didn't know Chris enough to kind of organize that we would come there and play. But it was really amazing to come and like, hey, that's Martin Galway over in the corner, and
yeah,
right. It was really amazing to meet up and kind of meet people of the same interest.
Yeah, but back then there weren't any live acts, I think. It started like a few years, or the year after. 2002 or 2003, I think, were the first live acts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would also like to say and reach out to Chris and say he was actually quite visionary at the time, because he had actually the balls to spend the money to get this crazy band from Denmark to London and play. And he did that. How many times have we played with Chris? 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day where everything began, was quite, I would say he was quite visionary and quite...
yeah, nobody had done that before. That's for sure.
But just trying to collect money enough to get a band from one country to another in order to play a concert. It's quite crazy, but he did it.
Yeah, so, definitely crazy. In a good way, in the best possible way.
Exactly, yes.
And then if we talk further about musical genres, then is there any type of genre that feels too difficult for you to do, except the symphonic 10-hour opera kind of things?
I don't think you are going to see us do like a 10-minute jazz improvisation.
Oh, okay. Or if there would be anything like that, it would be certainly a parody, I guess.
Yes. Of course, Theo has his Wagner opera-inspired 10-hour theremin thing. In store, but,
Martin, I hope you heard it.
Well, how about a fusion jazz type session with game controllers?
I like fusion jazz. I think I need to practice a bit more before I play it.
Okay.
Oh, I just realized we're running out of time.
Yeah, we are quite close right now, but I think it's... we still can maybe return for one more session.
Oh, definitely.
Before closing up and everything. And yes, we didn't pay attention to the time that much. Sorry about that.
No, it went really fast.
Yeah, it just flew away. So let's cherry pick something that we usually don't play.
Some of the new stuff, the previews.
We can definitely do that as well. What do you guys prefer? Because let's
try one of those 2 new songs that we could preview, like.
Of course, the exclusives, and time just flew by, and we didn't play exclusives. Look at that. So
shall we maybe do that now then?
Yeah, we shall.
So if I can bring that up.
I have it here.
Which one?
I have them here.
Left one or right one? Oh, these two. I was thinking the 2 here that you guys probably can see me hovering over here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see them?
I can't read what it says. But it's,
one is Crazy Comets and the other one is Formula 1.
Do you want to play both or only one of them?
Start with one of them.
Let's start with Formula 1 then.
I would say go for Crazy Comets.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, so I'll play Crazy Comets on the left channel and Formula 1 on the right, if that works for you guys.
Now that I think of it, I disagree with myself.
Oh, okay. You can also do that. That's great. Okay, Formula 1 it is then, I guess.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay.
Change your mind again. Do you want to change your mind again?
Maybe in a while.
Okay, until then, we play that.
so we can actually talk over it because we're watching it and listening at the same time. Anything you want to tell us?
We kind of covered.
There we go.
Questions, huh?
This is from the concert, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's the same concert as the Tetris video.
Yeah. And this is the early kind of work in progress version of it.
Yes. There's still some fine tweaks in the video editing we need to weed out before we release it. But hopefully, if I get time to do it over this weekend, we'll release it before Christmas. Was the plan, but these things sometimes take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you have a controller there.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the songs in Super Mario Brothers where he actually triggers a sample, and it's while he's on camera, so you can see.
Ah, cool. How much is left to do on this video before it's done?
So this one and Crazy Comets are pretty close. I hope we can get them out before Christmas, but I don't make any promises.
Nice. You mentioned earlier that when we did the test call that you had a bunch that were if not ready, then almost ready, all of them, that you were going to release up until Christmas.
Yeah, but I had to stretch it out because it ended up taking longer time to edit than I anticipated. So therefore, these are the two. There are like 9 or 11 tracks in that concert that we're going to release, and then we will release the full concert.
I love the visuals of this.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Or the game and the disco ball floating around.
That's how it always is when you practice, as Theo said.
Yes. We actually had to remove all the girls in order to make it proper.
Well, you had some dude doing the video in the room somewhere? Or was he outside?
No, we had a guy who was offside, who had a feed of all the 5 cameras, I think it was. So he was doing the editing from somewhere in town. He had 2 engagements that evening, so he was sitting offside.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
But it was fun, and you cannot see the amount of time we put in to make our rehearsal room look like that. It looks like it's really tidy and nice and nice.
Definitely.
Stuff. But usually it's a junkyard.
Yeah, Lala mentioned the post-it notes on the door.
Yes.
That was from a brainstorm session around like what songs to play next.
Cool. But this is all played live, correct?
Correct.
Of course it is. Stupid me. Nice.
Yeah, and Peter Clark said that we can hear your chat. Yes, it's intentional.
Yes.
This is why we do it.
Because this is not released yet, so we actually are talking over it.
Yeah, so not really sure how loud we were or how loud the music was next to the thing, but yeah.
Anyway, if it was too loud, then we are going to edit it and release it hopefully very soon. So just follow us and you'll get notified.
Yeah, indeed. So, well, it's really amazing. I think what's left for us here to wrap up, because there were several questions here, right? So let's see what I have missed. Yeah, have you ever considered using guest singers? We talked about that. It was Michael who wanted to join from Artillery.
We'll do it again, Michael. We'll do it again. Yes.
Okay. So that's nice. And also, let me see. Thank you guys for staying true and retro press play on tape rules, said also Michael. And what we still have here. Any dream projects or future projects by you? That would be interesting to hear of. Like anything that we can expect in the near future, except of course these videos are slowly coming when they are edited, as we know it.
Yeah, and I think LP Chip's question actually ties into that. He says, any song you have not yet remixed or performed that is on your radar from maybe somewhere in the future?
We could tell you.
But you'd have to kill us.
There's a bit of there's a spoiler on the door where it actually says Zelda, and that's because I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and I've been pushing us to play that song forever. And then, like last year, I finally managed. So we are kind of still arranging it. We have played a version of it live once. At some point, we should probably release it. So that's definitely on the radar at some point.
Nice.
Great to hear.
Yeah, we have a cat called Zelda, so that'll come in handy. Yeah, and Peter's...
One thing about the stuff in the band is that some of the projects we complete, and some of the projects we don't, and they might be, simmering for decades, and then we have some video, some capsized video projects that we haven't completed. For instance, the Pac-Man song. If you go to our concerts, you can see it on our big screen, but we haven't released that video yet.
Mm-hmm.
We have some stuff boiling, but for some reason we never got around to it. We are a band of 6 guys, and 50% of us we have been divorced, and some remarried, and we got children, and even more children, and it's a big boiling pot of ideas, and some of them they actually become something, and some of them they might turn out at some point to become a real
exactly.
There was actually a question from FS that said, do you have family, and if yes, what do they think about your geek hobby? And I think we got the answer to that. They don't like it, so they divorce you.
I have the oldest children. My son is 17 and my daughter is 15. And my son is a huge Tetris fan. Like he will go see the European CTSC, which is organized by the awesome guys from a Bip Bar in Copenhagen. And we went there to see it, so he just thought that our Tetris performance was completely awesome.
Yeah, I like the pile of Tetris blocks in one of the Tetris video there. That was nice.
I have a daughter, and she's 11 years old, and she thinks that it's completely fantastic. And when she sees, for instance, the short videos we have from the Roskilde Festival, for instance, she's just amazed that we did that.
That is so cool. Yeah, like, oh, that is so cool.
Dad is famous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not always like that, so it's really nice that she appreciates you and what you do.
It is. I have a younger sister. I think she's 13 years older, younger than me. And when she went in high school, I don't know why, but for some reason our band became a cult band at their high school. So they would play our music at the parties, and it became a rumor that she was actually the little sister to one of the guys in the band, and somebody denied that it was like that. So there was a big dispute on her high school for that. So yeah. No,
fun times.
So you never went there to clear that up in any sort of way?
No, I didn't. but you cannot make stuff like that up.
That's funny.
Oh, and Lala says, Pac-Man video, release it now! Gamer Geeks demanded!
Yes, I will. It's on the set list from that streaming concert, and it's almost ready, I promise.
Almost. Just maybe a decade more.
No.
But we actually hired 3 dancers for the initial idea for the video, so we have tons of footage of dancers doing all their stuff, and it's green screened, and it's a few decades from now we'll probably release it, I think.
Oh, that it also requires, Theo, that you fire up a 3D Studio Max and pick up the old models and so on, right?
Oh yes. Yeah. I'll rewrite my ray tracer for it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, Lala ended. In contrast, my daughters about my hobby. Daddy again with this geeky music. It could be like that too. So lucky on your end. Okay, so it's I guess more or less we talked about what we wanted to, right? Did we miss anything, guys?
I think you kind of covered it. If there are more questions from the audience, then
let's look around here.
I have one more from Max Levine, who says, "What video games have you been involved in? I recall you did a cameo in one of the Hitman games."
Exactly. Theo?
I sort of zoned out there. Yeah, it's true that we in Hitman Blood Money, there is a newspaper lying in one of the rooms where you can see a picture of us performing in St. Luke's, I think. I think actually Mahoney did the photo. So Mahoney is now a known guy just for that, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah. And I don't remember, have we put anything else into other games? I don't know if Søren did.
No, I don't think so. But if you look in the Man with the Gun video, the sequence over the guitar solo, all the games that you see there, like Limbo and Watchmen, and Hitman, and so on, all those games are actually games where members of the band has been working on creating them.
Wow.
So that was kind of a little Easter egg from ourselves, right?
Nice.
Søren works at Playdead, where they do Limbo and Inside and those games, and Theo worked at IO Interactive, and a lot of the guys worked at, what's it called, Deadline Games.
Nice.
So at some point we were all making computer games, but now we don't.
Now we're earning money.
Søren is still living the life.
And privately, what are you working with? Does it have to do anything with music?
Unfortunately not. I would actually like it to be, but I'm a product manager at an online SaaS accounting software company.
Yeah, I'm mainly into pixels, so I'm doing digital photography software.
Yeah,
nice.
Software. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, something called software. Yeah.
like developing it or designing? Yeah. Wow, cool. Okay. Then you have some designer past, right? If I kind of assess correctly, because from our discussion, I kind of saw that just put it a little bit aside. that you kind of have some sort of visual perspective there. So you were. Yeah. Okay. So and you wouldn't mind to work with music more. So I hope everyone heard it who is organizing events for next year, by the way. And then let's hope that the next year will be definitely better than this one.
We can come to Sweden and play.
Oh yeah,
that would be nice.
We would love that too.
Gothenburg is a very nice city.
We never played in Sweden, did we?
No, we should. For some reason, we never played in Sweden, and I simply don't understand why.
That's weird. We have to fix that.
Definitely. Yes. Indeed, there was an event, Data Storm, but right now it's sort of parked, so we don't know when the next one is happening.
Or where.
Or rather where. That's the venue is kind of will be torn down at some point, so we don't know. But yeah, there will be some events for sure, sooner or later, I guess. And let's hope that you guys can get out of this lockdown as soon as it's safe.
Yeah, and GoHank says PPOT on the next Slay Radio gathering. Yeah, that is actually what I was thinking. And that, well, maybe when we kickstart the Slay Radio gatherings again, have Press Play on Tape. Big kind of return.
We'd love to come.
We'll bring some game controllers.
Oh, that would awesome. Be perfect. We also have some, so we can give it to you if if needed.
But we have a full-size metal dance mat, as you will see in the video from.
Oh my God! I have 3 dance mats. I can lend you. Just saying. So yeah.
And we could reenact the boy band video in 4K.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Nice plans there. We love that.
I'll bring the shower.
Make it a hot one, please.
Oh, that's not going to be difficult. It's always getting hot. Anyway, especially when he's next to me flushing the toilet. That's the most painful. So yeah, hot shower you can get. You are covered by controllers as well. We can do that. So yeah, nice plans around there. Let's hope that we can make those happen. And if you would highlight like one track from your 20 plus year of history right now, what would be the track that you are the most proud of?
That's a good question.
I know.
Of course, there are 8 different opinions for this.
Yeah, of course.
So me and Søren talked about it, and from the 2 of us, at least, the Knuckle Buster into Light Force thing. We just think there's something about that first of all, it's 2 pretty solid tunes. Like the Knuckle Buster is just such an unlike anything else composition from Rob, and I just think that what we did there with those 2 fit together just came out very nicely. So I really like to listen to that.
Okay. Oh, that can be an exit tune then, just saying.
Oh, it's like 13 minutes. What?
Well, 12 minutes. You're wrong. It's 1 minute. Okay. 1 minute left.
But it's because we actually cut out like 16 bars from Rob's composition to make our arrangement of it.
So what do you say, Slaygon? Do you think that we can play it, or we can play half of it, or how do you...
we can play it, I guess.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Or Theo, did you have some opinion?
I actually have at least 7. I would say that I really like our implementation of Nemesis the Warlock. I also like Zoids, and we're mentioning all the long tunes now. I don't know why. It might be a coincidence. I don't know. But I talked to Rob about how I saw Nemesis the Warlock as an approaching army coming towards you at very slow speed. And then he actually said that sounded very much like how he actually thought the tune himself when he wrote it back in the day. So for that reason, Nemesis for me is something very special.
Goal achieved, and I love that tune as well. Well, that one is 7 minutes, so
and it's I think a bit slower as well. Could work as a very good outro.
So yeah, what do you say, Jesper?
You can also do the crazy comments thing if you want to do another preview.
We can do that.
Oh yeah, right. But preview. So can it be an exit thing though?
Yeah, I guess it could. Well, just kind of go slowly out into the night while talking over the whole thing. We say our goodbyes over the song and all of that.
The last questions.
Huh?
It's time for the last questions. I'm actually quite surprised that we haven't had anything that's sort of embarrassing. We haven't talked about all the dirty parts.
Oh dirty laundry, we definitely have a few people that usually ask those questions, but they are not around. So, well, maybe one of them will hear it later. Martus was with us, I think. Sometimes he does that too, but this time he was like careful, probably like paying respect or something. I don't know. So yeah, this was a solid evening in that terms. We didn't really have those dirty questions.
Yeah, we'll take all the dirty laundry in the next interview. Is that a deal?
Again, there was one anecdote that at least is embarrassing, right? So when we played at Roskilde, as they were saying, then at Roskilde it's like a big festival, so it's very fixed, like how much time you have for sound check. You can't play a full song at the sound check. You can only do individual instruments because they don't want people come running to the show prematurely. And then there's one song where Martin is playing like a flute. And Martin he's a guitar player, right? He can play the flute, but it's the Eminem I'm Slim Shady, where we did a Danish rap over that. And then he had to make a sound check on the flute. So he's standing alone in the front of the stage and like playing this flute, and he's just totally embarrassed. And then, thank God it's over. And then the sound guy says, Martin, can you just play a little more? That's really awesome.
Yeah, that parody is awesome as well, and that we are also not allowed to play because reasons turned out to be great, by the way. So you can always find it on the YouTube channel of Press Play on Tape, of course. So if anyone didn't hear that, great one. And the Danes will understand the text as well. That counts.
That was actually an example, Theo, of something that we had used the video in our live shows for many years, and then we kind of dug it out and re-edited it and make it 16:9 and put it on YouTube not so long ago, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, for that song, I believe that all the samples were put online in order to enable people to make some remixes of the song. So in that respect, I would say that we got them. We got the samples without actually ripping them.
Yeah, the source was legit, I guess. So it's
Exactly, yes.
it's probably a gray area. So I guess it's always complicated because even if it's publicly available, sometimes when you use it and when you try to monetize it, obviously you cannot. So that's one thing. So I don't really know. It's like that's why we don't try, because sometimes we got like surprises in the past that part of the video got muted because of we didn't even know that someone from the other end of the globe registered a remix to his own label, and then it's not even the author that did that. So someone stole it, and then he has a copyright on it, and then I don't know, in other cases it gets muted and you don't even count on it. This is like a free scene. Everyone loves what they do, and they don't do it for money usually, and everything is freely available, and sometimes you don't see those things coming really. So
yeah, how can you? And also the filters on YouTube, they don't know the difference either.
Nah,
yeah,
it's all automated by now anyway.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, sometimes there was some news about that the artist got a YouTube penalty for his own kind of upload or whatnot. So,
it's just total bollocks.
Yeah. Indeed. So, well, how should we do the exit thing then?
Do it like this. If you switch to the preview window there, you will see. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Almost. Yeah. Gonna do that.
Okay.
Like with the other one. So let's do this and do the exit thing over this whole thing.
Over this whole thing.
Yeah. Like this. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you very much Press Play on Tape for being here as guests. I really enjoyed it, and it was so quick.
Yeah, it went really quick. And this video is going to be released when exactly?
Yeah, as soon as I finish editing it, so hopefully before Christmas.
Oh yeah, this is the hopefully before Christmas. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, eagerly waiting for that then.
But thanks for having us. I mean, it's been really fun, and thanks for all the questions. I mean, it's always fun to.
Yeah, I don't think we actually got through them all. Even it's.
I'm also afraid that maybe we have missed some, because it's. I have paid attention to 2 channels mostly, and we have 5. So it's. it's challenging. But that's why we said that, that much we could do in terms of requests as well. So that also means that there are songs, obviously, that didn't get played today. Sorry about that, but that's the way how it is. So right now, a bit more talking, and we didn't regret it, and hope you didn't too.
So we've been talking about for 2.5 hours. It's just gone like that.
Yeah, it went really fast.
It's entertaining for the listeners just as much as for me and Jesper.
Yeah, it's really good fun.
Yeah, thank you. And I think they thank you as well, everyone, because I'm pretty sure that many people wanted to know more about you guys. But of course, we know that they can find some information on PRESSPLAYONTAPE.com, but and of course your YouTube channel and all the channels that you have. But it's always great to get to know the people that did all those great classic tracks that we mostly grew up on. And for quite some time these tracks were with us. So great to get to know the people who do them.
Absolutely.
Let's hope we can meet up in person in the not so distant future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It would be very nice if next year would end up at least with some events. Next year, in 2021, there will be a Dutch event as well called X 2021. I don't know if you heard about it. It's the biggest 64 event probably in the world.
Okay.
But that's only 8-bit related, so not that much remix focused, but they certainly have
they do have live acts, and it's there are some remixes as well sometimes, or that type of things. So that would happen in Sommeren. It's a little village close to Eindhoven, basically, and it would be happening in November, end of November next year. So
sounds fun. I mean, if they want to have us come play, then just reach out. It could be super fun.
I'll have a talk with them.
Yeah, if we can reach out, they are very busy sometimes, because this is a party of 300-400 people, and they sleep there on Friday and Saturday. So this is like you have a full college kind of thing.
We played at a break point at some point in Germany where it was exactly the same, but it was just so fun to see the enthusiasm that was still coming along, and see a demo scene where people were actually still coding on the C64, etc. So, love to.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the best artists are definitely visiting X, and they release a lot of great productions there as well. So that could be also interesting, or something for you guys to look into. And the compos are usually on Saturday evenings. So beautiful graphics, great music, like mind-blowing SIDs there, really. And the demos, oh my god, it's like 20-30 of them at least. Each 2 years, so people have usually time to prepare very nice quality productions for that weekend.
Yeah, I think the song will be ending right now.
Yeah, so thank you again for joining us, and thank you for sharing all those things with everyone.
Thanks for tonight, it was really good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And everyone, thank you for joining us virtually too on the channels, and thanks for listening and watching, and we will meet next week, most probably with Gazoo as a guest show host. So there will be 3 of us, but he will be at the other end of the globe. And you can always check back on Slay Radio schedule as well, because it might change from time to time. And you can also tune into Boz Radio if you want a bit more commercial music and other live shows at the other days of the week.
And if you want to find out more about Press Play on Tape, go to PRESSPLAYONTAPE.com.
Or Facebook or YouTube.
I guess the links to Facebook and YouTube are on PRESSPLAYONTAPE.com.
Yeah, we already forgot how to talk at the end of the evening.
But again, thank you very much for joining us. It was a blast.
yeah, thanks a lot, and hope to see you very, very soon, everyone. And Slaygon is preparing the countdown here.
That means good night and boom at the end.
Boom at the end. I'm just preparing for the boom. Then it doesn't seem like the soundboard will make it, but never mind.
It's fine. Let's just fade out.
Or maybe yes. So thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Commodore 64, Commodore Plus, Commodore 64,
8-bit, no shit.
Slay Radio.